What is going on, folks? It is Rigor Mortis. We are back with yet another video, and today we are talking about Shiba Inu. Folks, as promised, today we are going to be talking about the situation that is happening next week. And what I mean by that is the Federal Reserve most likely increasing interest rates. Now, I know some of you find this information boring, but trust me, the information contained within this video is going to be vital for how we are going to move over the next several months, because the fact of the matter is Shiba Inu is moving with the broader market. And with that, whatever affects the broader market is going to directly affect the price of Shiba Inu. So that is what we are going to be discussing today. If you are new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the family, throw a like on this video as it really helps the algorithm get it out to more people, and comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions about all things Shiba Inu, and make sure you stick around until the end of the video. We are going to be doing a Volt Inu update today. If you guys don't know, I introduced this token a couple of videos back, and since then they have been making a lot of noise, so we will get into that. But first and foremost, gotta talk about the interest rate situation. For those of you guys in the community holding Shiba Inu thinking, what does this have to do with me? Let me lay it out for you guys. Next week, the Federal Reserve most likely is going to be doing a 25 basis point increase in interest rates. What that means is that when banks loan money from and to one another, they are now going to have to pay an interest rate on those loans. As of right now, that interest rate is 0%, but they are going to up it. Without necessarily getting into all the nitty-gritty details, what that means is that people usually take a risk-off approach to their investments, meaning they pull their investments out of things like stocks, cryptocurrency, and they put it in safer assets like 10-year treasury bonds. And that is exactly what we are seeing happening and what we've seen happen throughout the last several months. That's why the cryptocurrency market has been so volatile, and that's what actually caused that downwards pressure way back in December leading into 2022. So now the fact of the matter is we have a lot of this priced in. And the question becomes, after next week, what is going to happen for the rest of 2022? Is the Federal Reserve going to continue to cause this pain in the market? Or are they going to let loose a little bit, saying that inflation might be transitory and that we don't necessarily need to increase interest rates? Because that's the basis of everything. The reason that they are doing this, the reason why they are increasing interest rates to begin with, is because inflation has been running rampant here in the United States, and it seems as if things are going to be getting worse before they get better. We got CPI data just last week, and guess what? Inflation continues to get worse, but we anticipated this. Supply chains haven't been fixed. Now tensions are increasing overseas. There might be a lot more pain coming down the pipeline. But the question becomes, what is the Federal Reserve going to do? I found this very interesting article. I don't want to read the whole thing, just the headline here. The Fed needs to delay its rate hikes. And I found this incredibly interesting. The fact is, right now we are at a time where there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear, and there's most definitely a lot of doubt. And with that, if the Federal Reserve is overly aggressive about increasing interest rates, well, guess what? That could cause some really severe ramifications, not in terms of just the financial sectors, but the economy as a whole. I mean, from top to bottom, we're talking about jobs, everything. So this could cause a lot of pain. And these people are suggesting maybe it's time to ease back on increasing those interest rates to see if supply chain issues might actually get better so that we don't even need to increase those interest rates. And I found this incredibly, well, for a lack of a better term, interesting. So we will see how it plays out, but it all starts out with what happens next week. Now, before we talk about Shiba Inu specifically and how I think we are going to move for the next several months, gotta give a huge shout out to Volt Inu, like I said before. Now, if you guys don't remember, this is one of those tokens that I think is doing something really special in the crypto space. But you guys know what I do. Every single time I introduce a new token on my platform, I always tell you guys, go out and do your own research and become as convinced as I have been. The fact of the matter is, right now the crypto space has a lot of uncertainty. So before investing in anything, you have to do your due diligence and go out and do your own research. But Volt Inu is one of those tokens that I think is doing something special because they are doing something different. This is a hyper deflationary token whose aim is to invest in multiple assets such as NFTs, nodes, altcoins, staking, and farming stable tokens. What they do with that money is they actually use it. They harvest the gains from all of those investments. They do buybacks and burns. And if you go on their Twitter, you can see it. They have been doing this since the inception of Volt. The community behind this thing is incredibly powerful. If you guys didn't see, we actually had them on the Off the Chain podcast where they went through some of these key points when it comes to Volt. And I'm very, very impressed with not only the community, but the team behind it as well. So this is one of those tokens that I have been taking a look at. You guys already know, for full transparency, I did start a position in Volt and I have been very, very happy. But let's go ahead and take a look at the chart and see exactly what's been going on. I think the most impressive thing about Volt for me personally is the fact that they have been able to perform so well while the cryptocurrency market has, for a lack of a better term, not been performing at all. This token launched in mid-December. And since then, the crypto market has been having a lot of pain, but Volt Inu has been doing well despite all of that. So I think this chart is incredibly bullish. In my opinion, Volt Inu has what it takes. Now, whether or not they are going to do it, that's the question, but I think they have what it takes to really get to that next step. And what I mean by that is that $100 million market cap. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but I do believe that they have all the pieces in play in order to do that well. I've been very impressed with everything that I've seen so far, and now it is up to them, the development team, as well as the people in the community, to get this thing to the next level. So I'm going to leave some links in the description below for Volt Inu. Make sure you guys check those out and just become as convinced as I am. I'll leave their Twitter in the link as well as in the description as well for you guys to check that out too. Thank you so much for Volt for sponsoring today's video. Back to Shiba Inu. So guys, what's going to happen next week? It might not necessarily affect the market that much, but that's only next week. You got to remember, this market is a predictive one, meaning that it prices in things as they happen. So next week, all analysts are anticipating that there is going to be a 25 basis point increase in interest rates. If there is a 0 point, if they come out and they say, hey, we're not going to increase interest rates at all, that is going to be bullish. The market is probably going to react in a positive way. If they do the opposite and do like a 50 point increase, 50 point basis increase in interest rates, guess what? The market's not going to like that. But more likely than not, they are going to stick with that 25. And I think the market is just going to remain flat from that perspective. Of course, there could be some really bullish sentiments that send us higher, but the market is going to be able to do its thing at that point. If the Federal Reserve in April come out and say, hey, we need to continue to do these interest rate hikes, that could potentially be bearish. But if they come out and say, hey, that one was enough, inflation is getting better, inflation is transitory, supply chains are getting better, that would potentially send us on a bull run. But the opposite could also happen. They could come out and say inflation continues to get worse and we have to be more aggressive about getting it down. So the question becomes, how transitory is inflation truly? And I don't think anybody necessarily has the answer to that question, due to the fact that nobody has a crystal ball that could look into the future. So as of right now, a lot of this is a waiting game. And that's why we're seeing this volatility in the cryptocurrency market. If we take a look at the 1 month chart, we have seen flashes of greatness, flashes of times where we're like, okay, this is it. This is where we're going to get that big run. And then boom, it just continues to have pain. And so now it is just strictly, in my opinion, a waiting game. The 3 month chart is even more volatile. I mean, look how much we've been going up and down in these flashes of just absolute greatness. We think we're going to go on that bull run and then it just doesn't happen. So now, like I said, it's a waiting game to figure out some of these uncertain pieces to the puzzle. And there's 3 of them, in my opinion. One of them we actually got some clarity on last week, and that was the Biden administration, that executive order to look into cryptocurrency, and it ended up being bullish. Now what's on deck is the Federal Reserve, and they can either send us in a big bull run, in my opinion, in a bear market, or we can just ride the wave how we've been doing. Number 3 is tensions overseas. And I think this is one that is still not very clear either, because we don't know if things are going to escalate or get better, but it seems as if nobody really knows the question to even ask to begin with when it comes to the tensions that are happening overseas. And before we can even get to a solution, we have to recognize the questions that we truly have to sit down and ask. That is all I have for you guys in today's video. I know, a boring one again, but guys, you got to remember, this is the stuff that really matters when it comes to SHIB, because this is how we are really going to start moving that needle over. The fact of the matter is, SHIB is super bullish in my opinion. There's a lot to be very impressed with and excited about when it comes to Shiba Inu, but there is still things that are stunting our potential growth, and that is because we are following that broader market more and more closely. Please keep in mind, folks, like I always say, I'm by no means a financial advisor. I'm just here to put you guys on plays that I am in. Please go out and do your own research before investing in anything I talk about on my channel, as these videos are for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you guys so much once again. It's been your boy Rigor Mortis. I'm out the scene, folks. Peace out.